Hello and welcome into Red Wilson Field here in South Yarmouth, Massachusetts. YD back at home, and we are right into first pitch here between the Red Sox and the Orleans Firebirds as Joe Oyama takes ball one up high. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei alongside as YD looks to extend the winning streak. Red Sox winners again last night. 1-0 is in there for strike one to Oyama as Eric Yost makes his season debut for YD. The Red Sox veteran in his third season here with YD. The 1-1, this one is ripped out towards right field. Coming in on it, Apodaca watches it drop in front for a base hit. And Joe Oyama starts this game with a bang for Orleans. He's aboard here in the top of the first.
Before we could even talk about him, Oyama was going to be my player to watch for the game for the Firebirds in his first time out against YD. He burned the Red Sox. He was 2 for 3 at the plate with a stolen base and a walk. His speed in the base paths makes him extremely dangerous. Definitely should be watching out for a stolen base attempt from him right here.
Fenwick Trimble in the 2 spot for Orleans, and the first pitch to him on the way, and that clips the inside corner for strike one. Trimble digging back into the right-handed box, righty on righty for the first time. A snap throw to first, and Oyama's back with a slide.
Will King back behind the plate for the second day in a row for the Red Sox. He had 3 RBI yesterday.
Another pickoff move over to first. Just 2 catchers, as we talked about yesterday, on the roster for YD following Ryan Stafford's departure for Team USA camp. It's Will King and Connor Dykstra for YD. 0-1 jammed up in the air, foul. And Trimble, the James Madison Duke, is down 0-2. Oh for 4 his first time against YD. He's hitting .231 this season. Has 1 extra base hit of each variety. Oyama extends the lead on first and takes off. 0-2 pitches up high. King's throw down to second's a good one, and it's tagged in time on Oyama. Will King gets a caught stealing.
It's his first caught stealing runner of the season. He's had a few throwdowns to second, but for the most part has been pulling them left. This time right on target and gets the speedy Oyama with a second to spare.
So now the base is empty and Yost can go back from the windup. The 1-2 lifted up in the air. Foul ground on the right side. Jacob Christian in pursuit, and he will stop on it as that flies out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Fenwick Trimble. Thanks for tuning in. Got in right before first pitch here from Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth. Second meeting between Red Sox and Firebirds. 1-2, spiked in the dirt for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both of these teams have been pretty hot. Orleans had their game postponed yesterday. They've won 3 of their last 4. For YD, they've won 3 in a row. Yost with the glove covering the face. Now the 2-2 offering. Pushed up foul and out of play. Still 2-2 to Fenwick Trimble. Yost lifts the knee. The pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. Foul tipped it into the glove of Will King. And Eric Yost gets his first strikeout of the 2023 summer season.
Yost plays at Northwestern University. He made some appearances for the Red Sox last season. This is his first this season. He is a multi-time all-conference selection.
Eddie Micheletti now at the plate, and the first pitch dealt to him is outside for ball 1. Another lefty in the lineup for Kelly Nicholson's group. He and Scott Pickler, 2 of the big veteran coaches here in this league. The 1-0. Misses below the zone. 2 balls, no strikes. Ahead 2-0, righty on lefty. Now the pitch bounces in the other batter's box for ball 3. And Eddie Micheletti in command of this at bat.
There's a slight shift on in the infield. Vieira moved over a little bit just behind second. Outfield shifted over slightly towards the right.
Lifted out towards left field. Backtracking, R.J. Austin is there and makes the catch about 20 feet short of the fence. Side retired. A leadoff single is immediately wiped away for Orleans, and it is 3 batters. That's all they got in the top of inning number 1. YD to the plate for the first time when we return. You're listening to Red Sox baseball here. Bottom of the first here from Red Wilson Field. No score between the Red Sox and the Orleans Firebirds. R.J. Austin back in the starting lineup for YD for the 5th straight day. 4th time in a row he is atop the batting order for the Red Sox, who get their 2nd chance of the season against Jake Peppers, who once again gets the start for Orleans. The righty deals a first pitch, and it's grounded towards the hole. Diving stop made by Farrow. Throw on to first is not in time to beat out the speedy R.J. Austin. A nice stop by the Orleans shortstop. But R.J. Austin was too fast, and he legs out at the plate for YD.
Austin has been finding the gaps on the ground. That one had a chance at sneaking through, and even the really nice play from Oyama over at short.
So now Will King back into the 2 spot. 3 RBIs for him yesterday. Check on the runner at first. King in that game, 2 for 5 with 2 flyouts, a strikeout, and a pair of singles down the middle. That one bounces in. Owen Carpellotti getting the start behind the plate today for Orleans, the Georgetown Hoya, who the Red Sox did not see the first time around. YD victorious in the first meeting between these two teams a few days ago at Eldridge Park. The 1-0. Check swing foul ball by King.
Austin taking a big lead over at first, something to look out for, as yesterday he had a bit of trouble in the base paths, got caught and tagged out in a rundown between first and second twice yesterday. Certainly going to try to be more careful in the base paths today.
1-1. Bumped foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. R.J. Austin, a guy who possesses as much upside as anybody else you're going to find in this league in terms of his professional prospects. Hopping around on first, that lead has grown even more in size. He bluffs, and King chops this one up the middle, waiting on it at short. Farrow makes the play on to second. The back end is not in time. It's a fielder's choice for Will King. And so Orleans records the first out of the bottom of the inning, and now Hunter Hines strides up. Solid crowd on hand here on this Sunday. As most YD home games go, imagine it will grow in size as we get through these early innings. Outfield playing very deep on Hunter Hines. And he swings over top the first pitch for strike 1. Outfielders are almost playing at the fence. Nothing over their heads. Infield also backed up for the Firebirds. 0-1 cut on and missed, strike 2. Hunter Hines hitting an even 300 this season. 13 RBIs for him. That leads the team. Oh, 2 in the dirt, and he lays off 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jake Peppers is making his 3rd start today. 4.15 ERA this season and 8 2/3. As mentioned, one of those starts against YD. 1-2 to Hines, drops down low. 2-2. Went 4 1/3 against the Red Sox in a 4-1 loss. Did not give up any runs, just 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, but his team ended up on the short end of it. He didn't get the losing decision in that game. 2-2 to Hines, swung on and missed, strike 3. Breaking ball that dropped below the zone, and Hines can't connect. That's the 2nd out of the inning. So now Max Vieira, who comes up hitless in his last 2 after having a hit in every single one of his starts up to this point. Check swings and just rubs this one over first base side. Coming over on it, Hyde flips to his covering pitcher, and Peppers is there for out number 3. YD also gets a hit of their own from RJ Austin, but neither team strikes in inning number 1. We're scoreless here from Red Wilson Field. On to the 2nd when we come back. Top of the 2nd inning here from Red Wilson Field. Andy Blake, the designated hitter in the cleanup spot, begins things for Orleans. And standing into the righty box will face off against Eric Yost, who snaps a first pitch way outside for ball 1. Blake digs back in, hitting .280 this year. Fouls this one straight back.
Blake plays at Columbia University, was the Ivy League Player of the Year in 2023 after batting .366.
1-1 off the plate, 2 balls and a strike. Has not seen YD yet this year. Didn't play in the first meeting between these two sides. Has been with Orleans since the beginning. Swings at this one and lifts it up to shallow left center field. Vieira backing up from short. Austin's also there. Vieira the one to make the catch for out number 1. Now Jack Penny up to the plate. Member of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. He's hitting .233 this year. 1 for 4 his last time out against the Red Sox. Takes a first pitch strike on the corner. 0-1.
Penny is a Massachusetts native out of Wakefield, Massachusetts.
And takes strike 2 on the bottom part of the zone.
He went to Phillips Academy, otherwise known as Andover, a very prestigious boarding school.
Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's an Orleans team that has struggled to hit this year. Their .216 team batting average sits them at the bottom of the league. The 1-2 popped up left side, having to come over and cover more ground since the shift was on. Vieira reaches up and makes the catch just next to the line for the second out.
Definitely an unconventional play with Coach Pickler's shifting. There were 3 on the right side a second, so Vieira, or that was actually Xander Darby or Vieira, they were switched around on that. It was over by where a shortstop would be, ran over to the shallow line. That ball actually looked like it might drop fair if Vieira didn't make the grab.
First pitch dives low and into Jake Casey for ball 1. Kent State Golden Flash, 1-0 pitch in the same spot for ball 2.
Casey was part of a MAC, a regular season title at Kent State.
The 2-0 finds the outside corner for strike 1. Team that dominated through the regular season. They were upset in the MAC title. Twists the 2-1 foul, 2-2. They had a case to be an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. They were one of the first teams not to be selected. They were a bubble team going into the selection show, and unfortunately were not picked. The 2-2, swinging a foul ball straight back. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yost gave up a single in the first, trying to go 1-2-3 through the middle part of the order here in the second. The 2-2. Called strike 3 in the outside half of the zone. Yost freezes him, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the second inning. Still scoreless from Red Wilson Field. YD to the plate when we come back here on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. To the bottom of inning number 2 here from Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth. Luke West Poley, Perri Kitei alongside Game Fort and for the YD Red Sox as they look to stay atop the division. YD currently 1 point clear of the Harwich Mariners, who they beat yesterday. 5, 6, 7 coming up in the YD order. Brady Day has been hot lately. Takes a first pitch strike over the plate. Yesterday came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th, got 2 at-bats and had a single and a double. 0-1 sinks low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Day has shown that he is worth putting in the lineup for his defensive efforts at second, but recently has been adding on at the plate as well.
1-1 cracked foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brady Day's. Average has climbed up to 257 after hovering around 200 for the beginning part of the season. 1-2, swinging a foul tip into the glove of Owen Carpellotti, and that's the second strikeout for Jake Peppers. So now Xander Darby coming up. And Darby, 3 for 19 this season, looking to find his hot streak. Righty on lefty, rolls the first one over, and it hit off his foot on route to first base and Jake Hyde, so that's a foul ball. Darby, another one of those guys that you can just feel Scott Pickler trusts, he believes in, is on his way to a breakout at some point. Outfield playing deep on him. 0-1 check swing. The pitch finds the zone anyway on the outside half. No balls, 2 strikes to Xander Darby. From the wind, kick, and deal. In there, strike 3. Jake Peppers blows the express right through, and he's got back-to-back strikeouts here in the second.
Pepper is off to a really hot start, and Darby has not been seeing the ball quite well. He has not walked yet this season, not that Peppers is giving anyone an opportunity.
First pitch is low to Jacob Christian. He's a guy that's proved he deserves to be in the lineup over these past couple of days. Has gotten a few straight starts strung together. Swings through the 1-0 offering out in front, evens the count 1-1. He was 1 for 3 yesterday with a walk. 1-1 pitch. In the dirt, bounced on home plate. Ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. And the 2-1 drops low as well. Peppers was not wild at all in his first appearance against YD in 4 1/3 innings of shutout ball. Really deflated this offense. YD didn't get anything going until Kelly Nicholson went to his bullpen. But the 3-0 inside for ball 4, and the Red Sox have their third base runner of the game here in the second.
2 outs on for Jacob Jenkins Cowart, batting .222 coming into today. That's 4 for 18 through a few appearances. Center fielder out of East Carolina University.
Guy who's got some serious pop, 22 extra base hits for him during the spring. Runner on first with 2 out. Now from the stretch, Pepper's first pitch flies outside for ball 1. Jenkins Cowart has brought in 1 run this season, hitting .222. .1-0 is low for ball 2, and so Pepper's around the zone a little bit here as he continues to try and slam the door on this second. 2-0 to Jenkins Cowart. Check swing, the pitch is outside, and Jenkins Cowart did not go around, no appeal, so it's 3-0.
Interesting, after a 3-pitch strikeout to Darby, Pepper is struggling with his command.
3-0 red light, and that's ball 4. Peppers has only walked 2 batters in each of his first 2 appearances this season. He's already matched that total in this second inning alone and continues to prolong this inning and now brings up one of the hottest bats in Enzo Apodaca, who had 2 singles yesterday and scored a pair of runs as a part of a 2-for-4 performance. Apodaca's seen the average climb all the way up to .343 on the season. Breaking ball way up high for ball 1 against Apodaca.
If you take out those first 2 games of the season, Apodaca's average is above 400.
Was 0 for 8 to begin the year. Pump fake over towards second base to reset the clock for Peppers. The 1-0. High at the shoulders for ball 2.
6 balls in a row now from Jake Peppers.
And prior to that, it was a 5-pitch walk to Jacob Christian. Large leads on both first and second, which are not being covered. The 2-0 drops low for ball 3. Top of the order is on deck, and YD has a chance to put Jake Peppers in a world of hurt here in the second if he walks another hitter.
Just saw Coach Kelly jump out of the dugout and then was called off by one of his other coaches. Might give it another pitch.
That's in there for strike 1. RJ Austin already has a hit in this game. He's on deck. YD with just 1 hit. Jake Peppers trying to snuff out this late 2-out rally. 3-1, lifted up, foul ground on the left side. Penny giving chase, camped underneath it, and makes the catch in foul territory for out number 3. So YD threatens but remains scoreless, and we're through 2 innings at Red Wilson Field. Zeros across the board between YD and Orleans. Back in a moment. You're watching YD Red Sox baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top 3 here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei alongside. Orleans has their bottom of the order coming up, 7, 8, 9, and it's Owen Carpellotti starting things off. Righty on lefty. And Carpellotti takes a first pitch strike on the outer half. Just 2 for his first 18. This is his 8th appearance of the season. Has been hit, though. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, or I beg your pardon, that's rather in the column over. I was looking in the wrong column. He's down 0-2, and the pitch. High and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So has not reached base yet on a hit by pitch, has 2 walks to go along with his pair of hits.
He's batting just 111.
Foul tips the next pitch back, and it just squeaks out of the glove of Will King.
That's 2 for 18 through 7 games. As you said, he has reached twice on those walks, struck out 8 times.
This one blasted out towards right field. Apodaca going back. If it's fair, it's gone, and foul ball. Carpellotti got all of that ball and then some, but just hooked it foul right of the pole. And always the worst as a hitter when you hit a bomb It's not straightened out, and now you come back to the plate in a 2-strike count.
Tough break for Carpellotti. That ball was smashed, probably, considering his hitting struggles, maybe his best hit ball of the season.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a looper that's carrying pretty well out towards left field. Austin moseying back, reaching back, and it's off his glove. Austin can't make the play. Carpellotti pulls into second. And sometimes things go your way after you barrel a ball up and it goes foul. Things balance out. That one goes off the glove of R.J. Austin out in right field. It will be scored in E7, and that will give Orleans their second base runner for Jake Hyde.
YD breaks their errorless streak from the last couple games. It's the second we've seen from Austin in the outfield. He's not a trained outfielder, played mostly in the infield at Vanderbilt, but that one should have been routine.
First pitch is in there for strike one to Jake Hyde. Red Sox roster does not have very many outfielders on it anymore, and so as a result, they've been playing some guys that are listed to play the infield out there. That's a beautiful breaking ball that ducks in there for strike two. There are just 3 outfielders, in fact, that are listed on the roster. One of them is in center field. That's Jenkins Cowart. One's in right. And Enzo Apodaca, Nathan Archer getting the rest today, and that means R.J. Austin, a usual infielder, like you mentioned, stuck out there and left. 0-2, reach for foul. No balls, 2 strikes still. YD released one of their outfielders today. That was Nick Mitchell, who was then promptly picked up by the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, so he will stay on Cape Cod. Mitchell, a guy looking for a new home next year out of the transfer portal after spending a couple years at Western Illinois and lighting things up in the Summit League. 0-2 wrapped foul. Still no balls and 2 strikes to Jake Hyde. Hitting 136 on the season, 3 for 22. Another Georgetown Hoya from Darien, Connecticut. First appearance for him against YD this season. 0-2, one hopper over towards second, stabbed at by Day. He's up with it, and he throws to first for out number 1. Carpellotti moves from second to third. And so Hyde comes away with a productive at-bat, moving a runner in scoring position up 90 feet. And now Drew Farrow, the 9-hitter, up to the plate.
Another nice play by Day over at second. Made that look deceptively easy. Picked it up on the backhand off the short hop. Tossed it over to Christian for the out, but very nice defending from Day at this point in the season.
Infield comes in for YD, and the first pitch comes in for ball 1 to Drew Farrow. Transferring next year to Florida State by way of UCF, who he played his freshman year for. 1-0 in there for strike 1. Pitch has a lot of not only sideways sweep to it, but some vertical break. Farrow, 238 hitter this season, has brought in 2 runs, looking for a third as Orleans tries to strike first. The 1-1. Lifted in foul territory over towards third. Darby chasing after it, and it just drops in front of him. And so it's a 1-2 count to the 9-hitter in the Orleans lineup.
It's actually not the worst thing in the world to let that ball drop. Just based on where it was in foul territory, Carpellotti would have had a chance at tagging up and scoring. You'd get the out, but also you do prevent that first run from potentially coming across.
1-2. Hit in a similar spot, this time not even going after it. Darby sees that ball get further out of play than before. Rose got the bat above the left shoulder. Now the pitch. Check swing as it comes down and in for ball 2.
Farrow was a collegiate baseball freshman All-American in 2023 over at UCF. Was a unanimous selection to the AAC All-Freshman team as well. The
2-2. Just a piece of it to foul it back.
Good defensive swing from Perri. Saw that late break on the ball heading towards the zone, just swung late to get the tip off it. Perri has quite a bit of power. His 15 home runs actually broke the UCF freshman single-season home run record, which was previously 14.
The 2-2. Called strike 3 in the outside corner. It's another looking K for Eric Yost, his second. Third strikeout overall, and that brings up the top of the order. Joe Oyama's 1 for 1, and he's Orleans' last chance at scoring this runner on third. Middle infield backed up. Third base still in, that's Xander Darby. First pitch, and this one gets away from Will King, and Carpellotti will come in to score. So Orleans strikes first here in the third inning as Carpellotti comes across. Wild pitch there from Eric Yost.
You could see King shaking his head a bit. That one actually kicked off his leg guard. Might be counted as a passed ball, not a wild pitch.
Pitch is up high and away for ball 1. Or I beg your pardon, that was ball 2. As now this one is ripped out towards right field, coming over towards the line. Apodaca diving, and it's past him in fair territory. Apodaca quickly to his feet, gets over to it. The speedy Oyama is all the way to third, and it's a 2-out triple to extend the inning for Orleans.
That was the best example of Oyama's speed we have seen so far, because that ball was dropping fair. By the time Apodaca dived for it, Oyama was already rounding second. I actually thought if he went for it, he had a chance at a Little League home run. Instead was held up at first on his feet. It's rare you see a stand-up triple.
So now Fenwick Trimble in to hit. Runner on third, 2 out. Orleans on top already by 1, looking for more. Takes the first pitch strike on the top part of the zone. Oh, 1. Slides off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still out of the stretch. Yost fires. Grounder right up the middle. He's got it. And Yost will trot over to first and lift it on to Jacob Christian for out number 3. Orleans strikes after Owen Carpellotti reached to lead off the inning on a fly ball dropped in left. He comes around to score the first run of the game. 1-0 Firebirds. YD looks to answer when we come back here on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Yep.
Interesting.
Bottom of the third inning here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei. Top of the order coming up for the Red Sox. RJ Austin is 1 for 1. And Austin rips this one left side. It's a base hit, identical to his first time up. And he's 2 for 2.
It's so identical. It was also on the first pitch. So Austin 2 hits off just 2 pitches, both singles. Up the infield. This one gets through the 5-6 hole. Fro can't get a glove on it.
So now Will King, with a runner on first and nobody out, as YD looks to respond. Check on the runner. King grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. Runner bluffs. King holds off on a called strike in the outside half. 0-1 to Will. Still swinging the team issue bat. 0-1 pitch. Lifted foul.
I mean, if it works, it works, and clearly it's working. King had 2 hits yesterday for 3 RBI.
He said that the other bat, he's going to switch to it when it comes in, which is interesting because of how hot he's been with this bat, but says he really doesn't like swinging with it, even though he's batting .342 with it this year. Almost like a pitch out that time, as that one was high and away in the other batter's box for ball 1. One-two to King. Bumped foul. King struck out for the first time all season yesterday. It was his 34th at-bat of the year. One ball and 2 strikes to him. Peppers deals. Wrapped over towards short, slow roller, scooped up by Farrow onto first for 1, and the back end is there in time. It's a 6-4-3 double play as Oyama provided the turn at second. And that clears the bases out for Hunter Hines. Bases are empty, bottom 3. It's 1-0 Orleans. And a first pitch missing below the zone for ball 1 to Hines, who was a strikeout victim his first time up against Jake Peppers. Second hardest thrower on this staff for Orleans. High fly ball, straightaway center field. Jay Casey is back at the wall, and it's out of here. Hunter Hines goes yard for the 4th time this season. It's a solo shot to dead center. And YD has tied it at 1 in the bottom of the 3rd. Unassuming enough off the bat. High flyer. But Jake Casey, who was covering it out in center, knew about a second and a half after that ball was off the bat that it was gone. Now Max Vieira. And he takes a strike on the outer half. Grounded over to first base his first time up. Swings and misses at the 0-1 offering for strike 2. Hunter Hines continuing to lead the team with 4 homers now this season. Oh-2 to Vieira. Strike 3, swing and a miss. 4th strikeout for Jake Peppers, and that ends the inning. YD strikes back on the Hunter Hines solo shot. We're tied, headed to the 4th. It's 1-1 between the Red Sox and the Orleans Firebirds. Back in a moment for more YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Top of the fourth at Red Wilson Field as Eddie McLuddy Jr. is back up for his second time around. Flew out in his first at-bat. Things are tied up 1-1 with Eric Yost back on the mound after that solo shot from Hines. McLuddy goes swinging at the pitch he sees, and it's a strike. So the count's 0-1. Ball one misses just below the zone. A regular infield, if anything, slightly shifted over towards the right. The 1-1 swung on and missed for strike two. The third base line largely unprotected as the outfield also shifted over slightly to the right. Ball two is in the dirt. The count's 2-2. Red Sox 3 hits. The Firebirds 2. Check swing from McLuddy doesn't go around, and it's a full count. The first matchup between these two teams was a 4-1 win for the Red Sox over at the Firebirds on the road. The full count swung on sharply towards shallow right center. Apodaca diving over, can't make the catch, and it's in fair territory. Throw on the way to second, not in time. Eddie McLuddy Jr. with a bloop double drops just inside the fair line up the first baseline. Second time today, Apodaca has attempted the diving catch, both of them incredibly difficult attempts. Just because of that placement, McLuddy over on second with the leadoff double. Brings up Andy Blake, the Columbia Lion, who takes strike one on the outside corner. Blake reached base in all 43 of Columbia's games in the spring. The 0-1 lined up the middle into the right center gap. Jenkins Cowart has it in center. The stop sign's put up at third as the relay comes in to Christian. 2 hits to start things off in the top of the fourth. McLuddy advances to third, and there's runners on the corners.
Just another one that barely escapes a YD glove. If Brady Day is 8 feet tall, maybe he makes that catch, but just hit it right over top of him there.
Really solid contact from Andy Blake. Just on a line to the gap. Fresh count, no outs for Jack Penny. Out of Notre Dame. Holds off on a first pitch ball. Orleans threatening here early. Back pick, not in time, to third from King. 2 balls, no strikes to Jack Penny. That one missed high and outside. Pick off towards first, not in time, no tag attempt. Huge hole between short and third right now as Vieira backed up to the edge of the grass right around second. And Darby protecting the runner. Another pickoff. Tag not put on. Count remains 2-0 as Yost taking his time. A few pickoff attempts in between pitches. But now Penny back into his stance. Another one towards first. Vieira now almost completely behind second base. Ball 3 is in the dirt. King keeps it in front of him. It's a 3-0 count to Penny. He does have one base available to give up, but does not want to load the bases with no outs. Jake Casey, the center fielder, on deck. Yost misses high. It's a 4-pitch walk, and the bases are loaded for the Firebirds. Jake Casey here with a massive opportunity to put his team in the lead. And there is a mound visit occurring. Coach Pickler coming out of the dugout brings the whole infield in for a chat. Some action in the bullpen, and there will be a call to the bullpen, the earliest we've seen Coach Pickler go to the bullpen since the season started. We will head to a quick break as a change of pitcher occurs. Thanks for listening and watching YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. It's Connor O'Hara on the bump for the Red Sox. In the top of the fourth with bases loaded and no outs, Yost went 3 innings with 4 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts, and 1 walk. So it's O'Hara versus Jake Casey. King stops a pitch from going behind the backstop. Count is 1-0. O'Hara, 4 innings pitched. 1.92 ERA. And strike one, a fastball right down the middle. It's Micheletti on third, Blake on second, Penny on first. Casey, the Kent State Golden Flash, the 1-1, a nice stop from King, is ball 2. O'Hara plays at Florida Gulf Coast University. Casey skies this ball behind the plate. There might be a play at it for King. And he misjudged it. Thought it was closer over to the fence than it was. Lets it drop. And unfortunately for YD, a much needed out does not occur. And for Casey, another chance at life as the count runs 2-2.
It's a tough one. I think Will King might have lost that. The amount of adjustments that he made in his route to that ball seems like he didn't really get a clean read on it up in the air.
It's a very overcast day.
See a lightning strike? The second base umpire stopped play rather emphatically and called to the home plate umpire. Scott Pickler is obviously going to be frustrated because if lightning happens, then this may mean that O'Hara throws a couple of pitches and can't come back. Pickler's pointing to a cell tower that's over in left field saying, did you see that or did you see actual lightning? But now it looks like the umpires are going to check and see if there's anything in the area, or maybe not.
There's no rain in the forecast. It's just overcast, cloudy, but not really dark clouds, kind of just the type of clouds that hang up there all day. Don't really break up. He's heading back out, and O'Hara is given a few warm-up pitches, so play will resume after that short break. The count 2-2 with no outs. Bases are loaded. The Firebirds have a chance to strike. Casey takes a few winds, and he's back in his stance. O'Hara deals. Swung on and missed, strike 3. O'Hara collects a very important first out and begins to work himself out of a jam he inherited.
Nice strike 3 pitch. Will King with the block. It's the start that you needed. You're one step closer to getting out of this.
It's Owen Carpellotti, the catcher, reached on an error his first time around. Reached second on an error because Austin dropped it in the outfield. Offers at the first pitch, fouled back into the backstop. His first plate appearance was a very well-hit ball towards deep left field, a ball that in this situation would score a runner regardless of if there's an error on the play or not. But he swings through and misses, and it's an 0-2 count. The 0-2. Lined out towards right field, drops in front of Apodaca. That's a base hit. One comes around to score. The stop sign put up at third. But Micheletti crosses the plate, and it's an RBI single for Carpellotti.
Another ball hit on the screws out towards right. And just a tough break for O'Hara, who was starting to roll through the beginning of this at-bat.
He wants a new ball now as he faces Jake Hyde in the 8th spot. Was 0 for 1 today with a ground out. A double play now could end the inning. We already saw one from the Firebirds on the grounder from Will King. Regular infield for Hyde, just slightly shifted towards the right, but backed up. Hyde's almost hit, gets out of the way for ball 1 on a pitch that came way inside. Now the shift does come into play. Vieira behind second. Huge gap in the 5-6 hole. 3 infielders on the right side. The 0-1 clips the inside corner. Counts even. Bases loaded. Counts 1-1 with 1 out. Top of the 4th. The Firebirds have already taken the lead 2-1. It's popped up towards the outfield in the gap. Austin coming over on it. Makes the grab, the tag from Blake. Scores him, and the score is 3-1. Orleans on the sac fly from Jake Hyde. Pushed that very far deep into left field. Slight bit of wind pushing out today. Might be helping these balls out just a little bit, but that one carried far further than I expected.
This field just plays so small. It's crazy. I mean, that's not a ball that's going to get to the wall in most places, but here obviously did.
Orleans leads 3-1. Farrow at the plate. 2 outs, top of the 4th. Ball 1 off the plate. Farrow batted in the 9th spot the first time these two teams played each other as well. The 1-0. Outside again, same spot. He might be transferring to Florida State because that's where his dad played before he played professionally in the Red Sox and Milwaukee Brewers organizations. The 2-0 popped up high towards the infield. Christian coming over in foul territory. Lost it in the air, but makes a diving catch backwards. And that ends the inning. A bit of a head shake from O'Hara. I think he was nervous that one was going to drop. So the Red Sox escape from the bases loaded, no outs jam with 2 runs added. It's 3-1 Firebirds as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Brady Day coming up to bat for the Red Sox, who now face a 2-run deficit after a 2-run top of the 4th from Orleans. First pitch clips the zone for strike 1. We've already seen a few drop balls today. That last one from Christian almost dropped just because of the conditions as Day fouls it into the backstop. Certainly might be a tough day on these high fly balls. We'll see if that affects the rest of gameplay. Right now, Day facing an 0-2 count. He's 0 for 1. Flares it foul to the left side and out of play. Count remains 0-2 as the infield is regular on the edge of the grass. Peppers with a very strong day so far. The 0-2, high and away, ball 1. This one grounded up the middle, off the glove of Peppers, picks it back up, recovers nicely for out number 1. Slight ricochet, but Peppers picks it back up. Hard hit ball from Day, just unfortunately placed. Can't find any of the gaps at Xander Darby in the 6th spot. Darby shows bunt, pops it foul. It's a well-known strategy of Coach Pickler's. Goes for the surprise bunt attempt. We'll likely see him swing away now with nobody on. Shows bunt again and pulls back. Count is 1-1. Corners are slightly in now. Day swings away, breaks his bat. Shallow out towards center field, and it drops for a base hit in front of Casey. Darby's bat snapped in half as the barrel flew all the way up, almost to first base. That's how much power was put in that ball. If the bat hadn't broken, probably could have been out of the park from Darby, but instead gets a nice break as it drops shallow. And Darby has his first hit of the day. Brings up Jacob Christian, walked in his first at-bat. Or plate appearance, I should say, yet to really have an at-bat today. This would be considered his first. Solid lead from Darby on first. Christian swings through, first strike 1. Jacob Christian plays at Point Loma Nazarene University out in California. The Division II National Player of the Year. He had 28 home runs. The 1-1 swings through and misses again, strike 2. That was a slow swing from Christian, just mistimed it. Looked more like a practice swing than a real swing. Peppers deals outside, ball 2. Nice block from Carpellotti, prevents the runner from advancing. Christian owns Point Loma's all-time home run record in just 2 years. Runner goes, swings through, and the tag is put on, so it's a double play to end the inning on Christian's strikeout and Darby tagged out. The hit and run goes poorly, and we head to the top of the 5th. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Back for the top of the fifth, it's Joe Oyama, who's 2 for 2 today with a single and a triple. He has been stagnant in that leadoff spot for the Firebirds. He takes a first pitch ball. Oyama is batting .333 on the season, slugging with a .429 on base percentage. He takes ball 2 outside as well, quickly ahead in the count. Top of the order for the Firebirds, they lead 3-1. Regular infield, deep outfield. The 2-0, but below the zone counts 3-0. Oyama out of UC Irvine shows bunt, pulls back, and that's ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to start things off in the top of the fifth, and Oyama is aboard for the 3rd time today. Brings up Fenwick Trimble out of James Madison University. He is hitless against YD as a whole, 0 for 2 today. Big lead from Oyama, and O'Hara deals a first pitch strike. A breaking ball catches the outside. Pick off towards first, Oyama. Slides back head first safely. Count remains 0-1. Day shifted over towards second to protect on the steal attempt. If Oyama decides to go, he takes his lead. Pretty lengthy one. And ball 1 is above the zone. Ball 2 misses in the dirt. Oyama scampers back to first. The sun is shining on a warm Sunday afternoon at a very crowded Red Wilson Field. Onlookers gathered all the way around, even over in the outfield. Trimble, check swing. Did go around, count evens 2-2. No outs and a runner aboard for the Firebirds. Trimble trying to break a hitless streak. Soft contact grounder up the middle, except it's not a grounder because it was fouled off his foot. I thought it actually was because of how far it went, but we can see by how much Trimble is wincing and trying to walk this one off just how hard that was hit into his foot. Still walking gingerly behind the plate. Coach coming over to check on him. And the athletic trainer being called over as Trimble continues to walk this one off. Pain on his face.
Kind of shrugged his coach off, almost looked like he wanted to just step back in, but it seems like it was the coach's request to have the trainer go see him and just make sure everything was okay.
Trimble stomps it off, and he's coming back to the box after a brief hiatus. Count remains 2-2 with no outs. Firebirds lead 3-1. Pick off towards first, closer, but no cigar. Two swung on and missed. Trimble goes down after that quick break in the action, and there's one out for the Red Sox. Nice pitch from O'Hara after a couple minutes of no action from the arm. Brings up Micheletti. He had a bloop double in his last at-bat. Another pickoff towards first, mostly just to keep Oyama in check, keep his lead a little shorter than to really attempt at the out, which would be unlikely given the speed of Oyama, but he retakes that sizable lead. The first pitch to Micheletti sails high for ball one. Eddie Micheletti plays at George Washington University, hit .384 in 2023. Foul strike one behind our heads.
Just announced he's transferring with 2 years of eligibility left. Guy that was top 25 in the nation in terms of being hardest to strike out. It's a lot of balls in play.
Holds off on ball two. No steal attempts yet from Oyama. He was thrown out his first time on base by King. I think he's really waiting for just anything in the dirt. Now he goes, throw on the way from King, pulled, and the tag is put on. Oyama protesting. Vieira swept it across the plate. The throw from King was slightly to the left side of the bag, but Vieira puts a nice tag on and retires Oyama for the second time in the base paths.
It's been a good defensive day for Will King. O'Hara almost did him a favor there by throwing that pitch up. Was able to get out of the stance quick and get that throw over to second.
This one lined up towards third. Darby has it on the bounce. Over to first. The dive not in time. Micheletti pumps his fist on the ground. That ends the inning. Strong defense from the Red Sox retires the side. We head to the bottom of the fifth. It's 3-1 at Red Wilson Field on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Bottom of the fifth, Red Sox at the plate. It's Jacob Jenkins-Cowart leading things off as the Red Sox try to come back from a 2-run deficit. The score is 3-1, and there's a new pitcher on the bump. It's Riley Frey. Jenkins-Cowart fouls pitch number 1 back into the fence. And the count is 0-1. Second pitch on the way. A little bit of a kind of side windy delivery from Frey, but the pitch does come from over the top. Certainly an interesting looking motion. Grounds it back up the middle directly to Frey. Tossed over to Hyde, out number 1. Just 2 pitches for that first out.
YD's getting a lot of hard contact. They're just kind of beating balls into the ground right now. Not a lot in the air.
Strike 1 to Enzo Apodaca. Back in the 9 spot today. Offers that pitch number 2, flared foul into the hill on the left side of this field. And the count is quickly 0-2, a strong start from Riley Frey, infield backed up. Apodaca fouls it off, a pitch on the inside, gets him jammed up a bit, but keeps himself alive. Apodaca offers, goes around, strike 3. Frey gets him to chase on the breaking ball to the outside, and Orleans will toss it around the horn for out number 2.
Kelly Nicholson's out of the dugout. This is an interesting development this early, especially with Riley Frey getting a couple of quick outs. And he's going to take the ball. Wow. Okay.
Really interesting decision from Coach Kelly. Maybe Frey indicated that he thought he pulled something, but Orleans had a guy warming up in the bullpen the whole time, which indicates this might have been the plan all along.
Maybe to just go at the lefties with a left-handed arm there. But now they're going to throw another lefty out of the pen, it looks like. Or no, rather, they are bringing a righty out, so I'm not sure. Regardless, we got a new pitcher.
We got a new pitcher, and we'll head to break as he warms up. Have all the info on him when we come back. It's Perri, Kitei, and Poley on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Two outs gone in the bottom of the fifth with R.J. Austin on at the plate, who is 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. as he faces Grayson Carter, the second new pitcher on the bump of the inning. Really interesting from Coach Kelly. It's the first pitch that Austin hasn't turned into a hit. Falls into the zone for strike one. It's a righty on righty matchup.
These guys are teammates at Vanderbilt.
Big cut and miss, and Austin's down 0-2.
And this is a pretty big difference. Orleans has now thrown their two hardest throwers in this game in Peppers and now Carter.
A called strike three on the inside corner. Austin not very happy about that. Walks slowly back to the dugout. A quick bottom of the fifth with two pitchers brings us to the top of the sixth. The score remains 3-1 Firebirds. Thank you for watching YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.
Yep.
Top of the sixth, Connor O'Hara back out. He faces Andy Blake, who had an RBI single in his last at-bat, just a hard-hit liner towards right field. It was a 1-2-3 inning for the Sox in the bottom of the fifth. Blake goes swinging at this first pitch, popped up to the shallow infield. Darby camped and makes the grab. About 20 minutes ago, the skies were completely overcast with gray clouds covering the entire field, making it very difficult for visibility. Now, blue skies. I actually don't see a single cloud. I didn't really notice the clouds moving, and then all of a sudden there just were none. Crazy how that works. But the sun is now shining, which should be better for visibility. As Jack Penny takes the first pitch strike.
And relating to whether we thought that brief delay we had earlier on was for lightning, it was not, as we got confirmation from our colleague Ben Strober. It was a drone delay. There was a drone that was flying in left field, and the game was stopped very briefly for about 2 minutes or so until it no longer was in the sky.
Penny fouls it to the left side. A hard hit ball out of play. Counts 1-2. Infield shifted over to the right slightly. Vieira just about behind second. The 1-2 missed just outside. Will King can't frame it up. Counts 2-2. The 2-2 grounded up towards second. Day has it off the bounce. Makes the play to Christian. 2 up, 2 down for O'Hara in the top of the sixth.
Next up, out of Kent State, number 16, Jake Lucy.
It's Jake Casey, 2 strikeouts on the day for him. Last time O'Hara faced him, it was with the bases loaded, and Casey's strikeout was the first out of the inning before Orleans tacked on 2 runs. Ball 1 just misses the top of the zone. Thought that might drop in there, but can't get the vertical change at the end. The 1-0. Nice pitch, clips the inside, and the count's even 1-1. Two and 1 now as ball 2 sails high. Ball 3 inside, counts 3-1 with 2 outs. Casey looking to get on base for the first time today. The nod from O'Hara. 3-1 on the way. At the top of the zone, the fastball. And the count runs full. Really nice pitch from O'Hara. Just paints that top edge. The payoff. Fouled back. Casey battling now to stay alive. A nice pitch from O'Hara again. Apodaca slightly shallow on the right side. The other infielders deeper depth. The 3-2 inside, ball 4. Just swept across the plate a little bit too much. Casey wasn't going to swing at it so far inside. And he takes a base for the first time today. Owen Carpellotti, 1 for 2, also reached second on an error. Fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. King coming out for a quick meeting with O'Hara. Just puts the ball in his glove and heads back towards the plate. Some action in the Orleans bullpen as there's a lefty warming up. Pick off towards first. Runner is safe. Counts 0-1 to Carpellotti. Big shift on the right side. Day backed up all the way to the middle outfield. Ball 1 is inside. Counts 1-1. Vieira on the right side, far on the right side of second. Darby shifted over between where third and short would normally be. Carpellotti chops it up towards the outfield. Apodaca coming over on it right where he's supposed to be. That ends the inning. Apodaca's first put out of the day. Scoreless in the top of the 6th. The Red Sox will go 2-3-4 with Will King leading off when we're back for the bottom of the 6th on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Will King stepping up to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. The Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox want to thank Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists for sponsoring this broadcast. Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists provide premier emergency and specialty care for your beloved companions. They're located in Dennis and Buzzards Bay and are open 24 hours a day. King with his classic tomahawk wind up into the stance. Faces the first pitch from Carter's. Big cut and miss for strike 1. Carter has an ERA of 0, just 1 inning pitched, however, before this game. He did allow 1 hit. 0-2 count after a foul ball to King. Flares foul towards the right side. Not bad contact, but about 50 feet out of play. Carter throws the ball very hard. One of the fastest pitchers YD has seen. Another 0-2 on the way. Swung on and missed, strike 3. King tried to check it a little late, got caught in no man's land. And it's the home run hitter, Hunter Hines, back for his 3rd time around.
And YD may have a little bit of trouble this first time around against Grayson Carter. He is an adjustment. He throws so hard. Hunter Hines, a guy who's used to it coming from the SEC.
Check swing on the first ball.
Has the 2 hardest thrown pitches of the season in the Cape Cod League, the hardest of which 98.6 miles an hour.
Ball 2 sails high, and Hines is ahead in the count.
He's topped out as much as 101. Carter coming from the right side.
Fastball in the bottom of the zone is strike 1 as Hines checks his swing. The 2-1. Above the shoulders, ball 3.
This is Carter's one kind of weakness that he has. He's had more walks than strikeouts in his first 2 college seasons. It's a tendency to be a little bit around the zone at times.
Ball 4 misses inside, and Hines takes a base. Brings up Max Vieira, who hitless on the day, has not reached base. He's 0 for 2. One out, bottom of the 6th. Ball 1 high and outside. And ball 2 misses inside. Vieira walked twice yesterday. Ball 3 on the outside corner. And Carter is at risk of walking 2 batters in a row with Brady Day on deck. The 3-0 right down the middle for strike 1, so Vieira might be forced to swing. Hines taking a small lead over at first. He does have 1 stolen base on the season. Maybe even 2 if you are a little. Vieira chopped up on the ground towards short. 1 out over at second. And Vieira's called safe at first. That's a close call indeed, but home first place umpire says his foot beat it out. Coach Kelly out of the dugout to argue. And I actually don't really blame him. Nope, just coming to the mound for a visit. Nice hustle down the line from Vieira, so he reaches on the fielder's choice, and there's 2 outs.
And he's going to take the ball again. It's a bullpen day for Orleans. Going to bring another lefty out.
So we'll head to break as Orleans heads to the bullpen. It's 3-1 Firebirds. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Brady Day faces a new pitcher for Orleans. We've seen so many calls to the bullpen today, Luke. And there really might be only one reason why, as you were just saying. Could be about the handedness of these pitchers, as there is now a lefty on the mound.
Yeah, Kelly Nicholson keeps flipping back and forth, playing those lefty-righty splits is kind of the only thing I could think of why you would switch pitchers this often.
Pick off towards first. It's Chase Loomis. Vieira on first. Day takes 2 balls to start off his at-bat. Day grounded up towards second, and the ball is mishandled. An error for the Firebirds, their first of the day. And YD has 2 aboard for Xander Darby.
This is very eerily similar to how the first meeting went between these couple of teams. Orleans had the lead. They were in control. It was a game that YD wasn't really generating a whole lot, and then all of a sudden, Firebirds committed a couple of mistakes, and YD made them pay.
Darby holds off on a first pitch breaking ball across the plate. But it clips the zone for strike 1. YD takes their leads. Christian on deck. Counts 1-0. Runners go. And there's not even a play from behind the plate. Just timed up really well. The runners went at the exact same time. Really good call from Coach Pickler. Takes the force away and puts 2 in scoring position.
And a single's going to score 2 runs with how deep Orleans is playing their outfield right now.
Ball 2 misses just above the zone. Counts 2-1 to Xander Darby. He's 1 for 2 on the day, singled in his last at bat. Ball 3 in the dirt. And Carter could load the bases with another ball. Infield backed up to the grass. Oyama shifting over slightly to his left. And a nice curveball. Can't drop low enough. Darby takes ball 4 and the bases are loaded. It's Jacob Christian looking to do some damage and put YD back in this game. It's 3-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Check swing. Went around, strike 1. Chase Lummis plays at Texas. He missed 2021 and 2022 due to surgery, so his redshirt sophomore year, he went 1-1. Ball 1, an off speed, kind of a curve, kind of a backdoor, I don't really know in there, but it's ball 1. A lot of movement though. The 1-1 almost hits Christian, misses inside. 2-1 with 2 outs, no more bases to give. And continuing with the trend, there's now a righty warming up in the bullpen for Orleans. Christian swings through big, strike 2. Hands at the bottom of the bat. Christian is swinging for power. Hasn't homered since the early stretch of games in the season. Swings, chases a ball outside, and that retires the side. Lummis works himself out of a bases-loaded jam, and the Red Sox can't get any back. It's still 3-1. We head to the top of the 7th. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.
Cape Cod isn't just any community, it's our community. At Cape Cod Healthcare, our mission to provide exceptional high-quality care for our neighbors and visitors is at the core of everything we do. From wellness initiatives and preventative screenings to leading-edge technology and specialized clinical expertise, our dedicated team is committed to delivering care that enhances the well-being of all in this special region. Cape Cod Healthcare congratulates the Cape Cod Baseball League on its 100-year anniversary and is proud to be this year's official healthcare sponsor. Learn more at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, caring commitment community. Top of the 7th inning, YD leaves them loaded. In the bottom of the 6th, it's still 3-1. Orleans out in front. Jake Hyde leads off for the Firebirds against O'Hara, who's back on the mound for YD. And he delivers a backdoor breaking ball in for strike 1. 3 runs off 5 hits, 1 error for the Firebirds. 0-1 fouled straight back, 0-2. YD with 1 run off 4 hits and 2 errors. Red Sox, who've had a problem at times in leaving runners on base, have left 4 on, including 3 as mentioned in the last inning in this game. Orleans has also left 4. 0-2 flies outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jake Hyde, who is 0 for 1 with a sac fly. Georgetown Hoya, who came in hitting 136 beginning of this season. Lifts this one out pretty deep to left field. RJ Austin floating back on it, and at the wall slows down and has the room to make the catch. And there's 1 out. So now Drew Farreau, 0 for 2, comes up to the plate. Second time he's facing Connor O'Hara. First time was a pop out in foul territory to first base. O'Hara finds the zone on that one for strike 1. Exclusively out of the stretch, O'Hara deals. Swung on a miss, strike 2. YD bullpen has some throwing going on in it, just getting started, it looks like, as it hasn't started from the mound yet. About halfway in between the mound and the plate over there at the bullpen. That's Jackson Roberts. 0-2, high and away. So Roberts from Campbell may come in within the next couple of innings. He's already made 1 appearance this year against Falmouth. 1-2. Drops low and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Drew Farreau. Top of the 7th inning here from Red Wilson Field. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. Turn to evening. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. O'Hara brought that one beneath the outside corner, and Farreau went chasing on it, swinging over the top. There's 2 gone.
O'Hara really finding his groove here. 2 outs now. It's been scoreless for 2 innings since he's come in, after giving up those 2 in his inherited situation.
Back to the top of the order we go. And Oyama wraps this one first base side. There's no one covering the bag, running over. Now O'Hara is there, and he's called safe as he may have missed the bag. He was stumbling over to it, and O'Hara slams the ball in his glove in frustration. Looks like he missed the base running over to cover the bag.
I will say I agree with the call. I mean, our first base umpire definitely much closer than me, but even from here I could see O'Hara was going for the corner of the bag, and it just looked like he stepped on dirt. There was no angle on it. Oyama ran it out. And just a missed opportunity for the Red Sox.
O'Hara nodding. First pitch flies way up high to Fenwick Trimble, who is 0 for 3. 1 of 2 Firebirds, he along with Drew Farreau, who have not either reached base or come away with an RBI. The 1-0 sinks in there for strike 1 at the top of the zone. So that play for Oyama is ruled an E1, so that means YD's committed 3 errors here today. Had a couple of error-free days over the last couple of games after tying the Cape League record a few days ago against Bourne with 6 errors. Another snap throw over towards first. O'Hara, the second man out of the pen for YD. Orleans, meanwhile, already on their 4th arm. Three to 1 our score here in the top of the 7th. Inning extended by a 2-out error. And the 1-1 to Trimble on its way. Swing and a miss. Tied him up, bringing that one up and in. And Trimble at risk of going down on strikes for the 3rd time. Shadows covering the mound. And O'Hara with the turquoise glove all set. The 1-2. Slow nubber towards third, and it's a foul ball. Hit off of Trimble in the box.
It's the second hard hit ball off his foot today. Trimble's feet are taking an absolute beating in the batter's box.
Still has the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. O'Hara already. Now the pitch. Popped up, left side. Darby over to it. Next to the third base bag, now comes in front of it and makes the catch to retire the side. 2-out error doesn't mean a whole lot on the scoreboard, though, as Orleans is held scoreless for the 3rd straight inning. Stretch time here from Red Wilson. It's 3-1 Orleans on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Bottom 7 here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley, Perri, Kitei, and a Tedeschi, our entire great crew with you on this Sunday afternoon. YD trailing Orleans, 3-1 our score. Jacob Jenkins cowered to the dish. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. And the first pitch is fired in, a swing and a miss for strike 1. Chase Loomis back on the mound for Orleans. Kelly Nicholson on his 4th pitcher of the game after Jake Peppers went 4. 0-1 drops low, 1 ball, 1 strike to Jenkins Coward.
Jenkins Coward, the East Carolina Pirate, a first-team All-AAC selection.
Swings and misses at the 1-1 offering. Ball and 2 strikes to him. Guy that hits for a lot of power, over 20 extra base hits during the college season. Takes the 1-2 outside. Still waiting on that power to translate to the summer. Still getting adjusted, hasn't been here for very long. The 2-2. Low for ball 3 in the dirt.
Jenkins Coward looking for his first time on base today.
The 3-2. Swinging a number foul.
Really nice movement away from Jenkins Cowart. Just fouls it off the tip of the bat.
The payoff, ball 4. Jenkins Cowart's second walk. And that brings in Enzo Apodaca in the 9 spot. Apodaca is 0 for 2 with a pop out and a strikeout swinging. YD has the leadoff man aboard for the first time since the 3rd inning. That was the inning in which they scored their only run. Apodaca takes on the outer corner for strike 1. He's had to cover a lot of ground defensively today out in right field. His fellow pasture-mate Jacob Jenkins Cowart on first. 0-1 is spiked, 1 ball, 1 strike. Full slate of games today here in the Cape League after we had 1 cancellation yesterday. It involved Orleans. Brewster and Chatham locking horns. That game in the bottom of the 6th as we get a pickoff over to first. Whitecaps leading 6-0 over YD's opponent tomorrow, Chatham. Bourne just will not stop scoring in their game. They lead Kitei at 9-0 on the road. Apodaca squares to Bunny, has it down. It's foul. And that moves it to 1-2. 2 more games getting ready to go. Harwich and Falmouth are currently in pregame, as are Wareham and Hyannis. All 10 teams in the league in action. YD currently sitting in 2nd place in the entire league, top of the East Division. Top 4 qualify for the playoffs. Only the team in the basement of each division does not. Chase Loomis hanging the arm. Now he's set. 1-2 to Apodaca. Here comes. Low again and quickly gotten to by Carpellotti. Count even at 2-2. YD has worked a decent amount of walks today. 5 of them in total. Disciplined at the plate as the 2-2. Wrapped foul. And Apodaca still alive at 2 balls, 2 strikes. YD looking to come back and win a 4th straight. Orleans looking to make it 4 out of 5. 2-2 to Enzo. Tapped foul. Apodaca fighting at the plate. Yet to see, other than the home run ball by Hunter Hines, a ball scorched in the air by a YD bat. Another knee lift and throw to first from Loomis. He's got the glove pinned to the right hip. 2-2. Low for ball 3, and Apodaca's got the count full.
A nice hold from Apodaca. That one looked like it was going to stay straight, and at the last minute, just curved away from him. Really good patience and discipline.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and the payoff pitch delayed by a pickoff. The lefty Chase Loomis has the perfect view of Jacob Jenkins Cowart at first, who has been in no hurry to get off of the first base bag. Now the payoff, ball 4. Apodaca has the walk. Last time we were here, of course, he had the most important walk of the season. Gave YD the victory over Wareham. But it's back-to-back bases on balls to the bottom of the order, dealt out by Chase Loomis. And that will flip the YD lineup to R.J. Austin. And we will see another new pitcher coming in for Orleans. Righty comes to the mound. It's the 5th new arm for Kelly Nicholson and his club, and we will return and tell you who it is in the bottom of the 7th when we come back. YD threatening first and second, nobody out. Back in a moment on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Danny Carrion takes the mound in relief. The UC Davis Aggie takes the ball as YD looks to tie this game up. They've got first and second and nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th and the top of the order at the plate. RJ Austin is 2 for 3. Got rung up his last time up following 2 ground ball base hits through the left side. Swings at the first pitch, hits it a mile high. Foul ground on the left side, ranging over from third base. Penny is underneath it, and he makes the catch, 1 out. An ideal start to the outing for Carrion, who brings with him a 3.37 ERA through 2 2/3. Struck out 5 batters over that span. Here's a guy who hasn't struck out a lot this season, but has for just the second time this year. Will King, he's at the plate 0 for 3. First and second, 1 out. King hits this one in the air, pretty deep out to left center field, coming over. Casey is under it and makes the catch. Jenkins cowered a couple steps toward third, but it was a bluff. He retreats, and just like that, there are 2 gone. So a frustrating day continues for the YD Bats, who have seen in just a matter of a couple of pitches. First and second, nobody out. Now it's first and second, 2 out. Hunter Hines has had a nice day, though. He's 1 for 2 with a home run and a walk. Righty on lefty. Swing and a drive. Deep right center field, and Hunter Hines has done it again.
That one was a no-doubter off the bat. The launch angle was just perfect. You can't do it better than that. A 2-home-run day for Hunter Hines, and YD takes the lead.
The Cape League's leader in RBIs and deep flies has his second of the game, and YD hops out in front of Orleans with a 3-run shot in the 7th to make it 4-3 Red Sox. Max Vieira up now with the bases cleared out. And the first pitch is in there for strike 1. So that has certainly changed things around here in this game. As Vieira takes below the zone. No, it just clipped the bottom. Beg your pardon, that's strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Vieira. And the pitch slides away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Max, who is trying to avoid his 3rd straight hitless game. 1-2, golfed at and missed for strike 3, and the inning is over. YD, though, strikes again on the 3-run shot by Hunter Hines, and the Red Sox have the lead once more. It's 4-3 as we make our way into the 8th inning. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Hunter Hines lifts YD once more. The Red Sox have a 1-run lead in the 7th thanks to his 3-run blast, 2nd of the game, as he has now brought in all 4 of YD's runs and already adding to his Cape League RBI and home run lead. Jackson Roberts now takes the mound for the Red Sox, and his first pitch to Eddie Micheletti nearly hits him, but he evades it for ball 1. So Connor O'Hara's day is done. The 1-0 flies high. 2 balls and no strikes. O'Hara goes 4 innings, 1 hit, and no runs charged to him. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts for man out of Florida Gulf Coast. Micheletti gets a good rip into this one out to right field, but Apodaca comes across and is there for the first out.
All of a sudden, a big momentum shift, and this isn't even the first time through this part of a game that Hines has been responsible for all of the runs batted in for YD. Did so just a few games ago in YD's win over Brewster as well.
First pitch low and away for ball 1 to Andy Blake. That game against Brewster, part of this win streak that YD is on. They're trying to make it 4 in a row. 1-0. Blake takes on the inside half for strike 1. He's 1 for 3 on the day, has scored one of the 3 runs that came across in the middle innings for Orleans. 1-1, hit well out towards center field. Jenkins Cowart ranging over towards the left center gap, and underneath it takes a step back and makes the catch for out number 2. Crazy to think that with YD's offense just failing to produce, now Orleans down to their final 4 outs. Jack Penny at the plate. YD is working double barrel right now in their bullpen. They've got 2 guys up and working. First pitch to Penny. Low for ball 1. Penny is 0 for 2 with a walk. From the wind, kick and deal. That finds the inside corner for strike 1. Roberts blows it by him on the swing and miss for strike 2. Second appearance of the year for the Campbell Fighting Camel, Jackson Roberts. The 1-2 deal. Fouled just a piece of it back towards the fence.
Penny was batting .233 coming into today. That was 7 for 30. Now 7 for 32 with no hits against these Red Sox.
1-2. Breaking ball high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Roberts went just 1 inning in his first appearance against Falmouth. That was a 4-4 tie. Gave up 3 hits, but no runs, no walks, struck out 2. From the wind, the 2-2 pitch. Driven out towards right field. Apodaca going back at the wall, and it's out of here into the trees. Jack Penny ties up the game with 1 swing. And did you think they were going to get off the hook that easy? We got a barn burner going on from Red Wilson. It's 4-4.
Apparently, Jack Penny took the fact that I said he's had no hits against YD very personally, because on the next pitch, he went yard. And this one is interesting as we've reached kind of the end stretch of the game, top of the 8th.
First of the year for Penny, and it couldn't have come at a bigger time for Orleans. Now Casey swings through the first offering. Casey came into this game with just 3 hits, but 2 of them home runs. He calls time. Kelly Nicholson is out of the dugout for Orleans, and he is out to talk to him. So he's down 0-1. A smile on the face of longtime Orleans Firebirds skipper Kelly Nicholson over by his dugout as gives his final words to Jake Casey. He has walked today, but is 0 for 2 with 1 strikeout each way. 0-1, and the pitch. High at the letters for ball 1. YD work in the bullpen for now has just slowed to a single pitcher after being double barrel earlier. 1-1 is fouled off toward the YD dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the double barrel has resumed, as I said that.
Can't let him know your next move.
Will King, meanwhile, is having some trouble with the pitch comp, but now seems to be ready. The 1-2 pitch. Lifted foul. So it went from a closing scenario to now potentially pitching in a tied game in the 9th, but still time between now and then for things to change. 1-2 again, just a piece of it for Casey to stay alive. One ball, 2 strikes. With the bases empty and a 4-4 game in the 8th. Roberts deals. Lined right field, leaping up the catch made by Brady Day, and that retires the side. A robbery for Jake Casey, who can't collect his first hit of the game. Brady Day makes sure that the inning ends right there. A solo shot, though, from Jack Penny has us tied as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. YD looks to answer and jump back into the lead when we come back here on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Fun finish on the way.
ping.
Brady Day, who made a nice play in the field, comes to the plate to begin the bottom of the 8th inning. Orleans responded to that 3-run shot by Hunter Hines with a solo of their own to tie the game at 4. Kelly Nicholson has called to the bullpen again, and Connor Eaton will see the Red Sox for the 2nd time. The lefty from George Mason deals the first pitch, and Day takes strike 1. So Danny Carrion, responsible for one of those runs, goes 1 inning. 0-1 flies low and away, ball 1. Middle of the order coming up for YD. It's Day, Darby, Christian for the Red Sox. The 1-1. Skips in the dirt, 2-1. YD's got a couple of guys available off their bench. Connor Dykstra, Casey Cook, Dub Gleed, and Nathan Archer. Guys we could potentially see later on. 2-1. Cracked over towards second base. Oyama waits, is up with it, throws over to first for out number 1. So Day, hitless now through 4 at-bats. That may be his final chance, but may also, depending on how deep this game goes, get another chance later. Xander Darby, on the other hand, has had a nice day at the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a walk his last time. Eaton's first pitch, a fastball in the outer half for strike 1.
Darby, I think we've really seen his adjustment to the wood bats. Was one of those that started off slow and recently has been pretty consistent.
Lifts this one out towards left field and foul ground. Couple players give it a look, but it will fly out of play. His base hit was absolutely smoked, but he jammed it off the end of the bat, and it broke his bat into 2 pieces. 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Handle ended up still in his hands. The barrel flew all the way to first base. And the ball dropped in, deposited in center for a bloop single. 1-2 is a fastball away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. For part of the order that you could say all waiting for a breakout. Pitch on the way. Lifted foul and out of play. YD Bats looking to come in the clutch. They've got 4 runs off of 5 hits in this game. From the line, the 2-2. Taken just off the plate for ball 3. A good hold there from Xander Darby, and he's got the count full. Base is empty and 1 out. Middle infield gap is pretty wide, a lot of space up the middle. The payoff. Called strike 3 on the outer corner. Loud disagreement coming out of the YD dugout, but Darby gets rung up for the 2nd out of the inning, and that will bring up Jacob Christian.
Next up, out of Point Loma has number 26, Jacob Christian.
2nd time being rung up today as well for Darby.
The first pitch to Christian sinks into the inner half for strike 1. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts following his first plate appearance, which was a walk. 0-1. Taken high and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Orleans pitching staff has 11 strikeouts, 6 walks through 7 2/3. 1-1. Looper over towards second base. Oyama comes around it, has it out of the glove, and throws to first in time, and that retires the side. YD goes quietly in the 8th, and we are all tied up heading to inning number 9 from Red Wilson Field. Stay with us. A fun finish is coming when we come back. You're watching YD Red Sox baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Tie game in the 9th from Red Wilson Field. Luke West, Poley, Perri, Kitei. Bottom of the order coming up for Orleans. Owen Carpellotti will start it off against a new pitcher that's taking the mound for YD. That's Leighton Finley. Third appearance for him on the season. The Georgia Bulldogs last came against Orleans, 4 1/3, and he got the win. Righty on lefty. Carpellotti has scored a run in this game already, the first deal. Breaks in there for strike one. Carpellotti is 1 for 3, reaching on that error that turned into a 2 baggers. He lifted a ball out in the left that was dropped. Also has a base hit and a flyout. 0-1, this ball lifted high in the air, down the line and right, coming over from second base. Day is underneath it and makes the catch for out number 1.
Really good hustle from Day. Made it about halfway into the outfield, all the way on the foul line, but that ball hung up there for just enough time to give him the space to reach, and there's 2 outs left for Orleans.
Jake Hyde is 0 for 2, but has driven one in with a sac fly that came back in the 4th inning. First pitch flies outside for ball 1. Leighton Finley was pretty dominant against Orleans his first time. No runs, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts in 4 1/3. Mentioned he got that win. 1-0 is a backdoor breaking ball for strike 1. First appearance came against Falmouth. 1 inning of work, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, no walks, and no runs. The 1-1. Check swing, and he went around. They say strike 2. Looking for his first strikeout. YD has punched 6 batters in this game. The 1-2. Liner out towards right field, and this ball's going to drop and split the gap. Apodaca to it, pulls it off the base of the fence and fires it in, and it's a 1-out double for Jake Hyde to get Orleans going in the 9th.
Really well hit ball, splits the gap perfectly. Apodaca's had a lot of running to do today out in right field. Very little has come straight to him. Orleans has done a good job spraying their hits all over the field.
Apodaca was shadowed down the line there, and YD might have paid for shifting him in that direction. And we're going to see a pinch runner on for Jake Hyde as Orleans is going to bring on number 14 in red, Eddie King, who saw the field the first time these two teams met. The batter is Drew Farreau. He's 0 for 3. Now out of the stretch. First pitch from Finley drops low, blocked down with the chest protector of Will King. Eddie King, the Louisville Cardinal out there on second, has some wheels. Kelly Nicholson goes to his bench here in the 9th. Pinch runner in scoring position for Orleans. 1-0, sinks low for ball 2 to Farreau. YD's got an emergency reliever out there warming in case things get hairy here in the 9th. That's Cole Hillier, also available to pitch should this game go any further. Orleans trying to prevent that and retake the lead following YD's stealing of it in the 7th. The 2-0. Right in there for strike 1.
If it gets to that point, Hillier has been really solid for their Red Sox in their walk-off victory against Wareham. Held all runs off the board in that killer 10th inning. You start with that international runner, really impressive performance.
2-1. Off the end of the bat foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bring in guys in that scenario that can prevent balls in play, get strikeouts, prevent runners from moving up on the base paths. That's exactly what Hillier did. Gave his team a chance to win, and win they did. That started this win streak a few days ago. Meanwhile, the 2-2 to Farreau. Way up high for ball 3. Open base at first with 1 out. No force in effect with the runner at second. Tie ball game at 4. Payoff pitch. Wrapped over first base side. It's scooped up by Jacob Christian, who takes it to the bag himself. King moves from second to third. And back to the top of the order for Orleans with 2 outs in the ninth.
And the infield is coming in on the corners.
Joe Oyama has reached base every time he's been up. A single, a triple, a walk, and an error have put him on. Orleans needs him to come through here in the ninth. Finley all set. First pitch to the lefty. Slides in there for strike one. Oyama hopping around. That pitch had a lot of horizontal movement into the outer half.
That's the kind of hop around that I think indicates a level of respect for the pitch he just saw go past him.
0-1. Fastball away. Back pick to third is not in time. Very close there from Eddie King, who had a big secondary. And Will King nearly gunned him down. 1 ball and 1 strike to Joe Oyama. 2 open bases for Leighton Finley. But wanting to just get out of this inning, hang a 0. 1-1. Bounces low and in. Will King with an excellent block there to prevent the run from scoring. 2 balls and a strike as Oyama strides back up. Finley set at the letters, still out of the stretch. Up high, another back pick towards third is not in time. This one not as close. And it's 3-1 to Oyama. Three balls and a strike, a lot of room to go up the middle if Oyama can put it there. Widey middle infield playing wide. Three-one. Outside ball 4. Has the base open, not necessarily a huge deal. Oyama with a phenomenal day at the plate, reaches base in 5 plate appearances. And now that brings up a hitless Fenwick Trimble, who's 0 for 4. Will King giving a sign to his infield. YD middle pinching a little bit now in case of the force at second. They only need 1 out to escape the top of the ninth. Righty on righty. Long hold, and now Finley sets. First pitch to Trimble, up high for ball 1. Oyama's got the speed, but Will King has already gunned him out twice. Trimble ahead 1-0. Plateward, swing and a miss. Strike 1. May have chased just a hair off the outer corner, a close pitch that he can't connect with. Trimble to James Madison Duke, readies for the 1-1 and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on a fastball by him. And Leighton Finley, 1 pitch away. Teetering point in the game right here in the top of the ninth. 2 outs and runners on the corners in a 1-2 count to Fenwick Trimble. Finley comes home. Runner goes. This one ripped foul.
And I think YD was content to let Oyama go on that, because the odds of catching him stealing 3 times in one game while risking Eddie King Jr. coming home on that, who has some speed of his own, I don't think that's a risk worth taking, especially with King, who hasn't been historically the best defensive catcher behind the plate, but has really held his own today.
And they're just going to give him the base. And a smart decision there. YD middle infield wasn't even covering the bag. The force is not worth giving Eddie King a chance to take home. 2 in scoring position now. Still a ball and 2 strikes to Fenwick Trimble. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Leighton Finley works around a couple base runners in the 9th. And it's a walk-off opportunity for the Red Sox when we come back. It's a 4-4 game from Red Wilson Field. Stay with us. You don't want to miss it when we return here on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Bottom 9 tie game. YD's got a chance to walk it off for the 3rd time this season, and it's Jacob Jenkins Cowart to get him started. Against Connor Eaton, he's back on the mound and will return to face the 8-9-1 hitters in the YD order. Johnny Olmstead taking over at first base for Orleans following the pinch runner. Cowart wraps one foul his way, and he will play it in the grass to the right of the line. 0-1 to Jenkins Cowart. Came across in the 7th inning on the 3-run homer from Hunter Hines. He's 0 for 1 with 2 walks. From the wind, the 0-1 pitch. Nearly hit him in the head. He leans away from it as Eaton just let that one slip.
Nearly hit the barrel of the bat as well. That would have been really unfortunate. We have seen that a few times, ducking away from a pitch, and it just clips the barrel.
The 1-1, that's over the plate for strike 2. So Eaton flames one in there following a wild offering, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The kick and deal. Taken just off the outside corner. Eaton was getting ready to take a lap around the mound, but instead the count is even at 2-2.
That's a really tough call. That one was very close to the zone.
2-2 pitch. Outside ball 3. So Jenkins Cowart, that one wasn't quite as close, but has taken a couple of pitches on 2 strikes, and he's got the count full. Enzo Apodaca on deck for YD, 0 for 2 with a walk. The payoff pitch. Ball 4. The walks have haunted this Orleans pitching staff throughout the day. YD with 4 runs on only 5 hits. And the winning run is on base for the Red Sox. Enzo Apodaca to the plate, trying to get his first hit of the day. Scott Pickler giving a sign. It looks like Jacob Jenkins Cowart is going to stay at first base. Red Sox do have Nathan Archer in the dugout, speedy guy who comes to mind if they want to bring him in. Can see Archer just standing in the wings, and now he's going to put the helmet on, and here he comes. Scott Pickler waited till the absolute last moment to call time there, and now we will see Nathan Archer on to pinch run for Jacob Jenkins Cowart, who did his job and drew the walk.
And this is a position that feels really familiar for YD. They've already had 2 walk-off victories this season. Could have a 3rd here. I don't know if any other team even has more than 1.
Lefty faces towards first and throws over there. Got to imagine a lot going through the head now of Connor Eaton, dealing that walk And now having to put up with a base runner and a pinch runner at that. Bunt is squared. It's down for Apodaca, charging in from third. Penny throws on to first in time for out number one. Enzo does his job with the sac bunt. And the runner moves into scoring position for R.J. Austin, hitless in his last two following a 2-for-2 start. Kelly Nicholson out of the Orleans dugout, and we will see a call to the bullpen once more for his team here in the ninth. We come back with a runner in scoring position for the Red Sox. One out in the ninth as YD looks to walk it off for a third time. Stay with us. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
That seriously.
Sean Matson takes the ball here in the bottom of the ninth. The Harvard right-hander faces the top of the Red Sox order. Nathan Archer is standing over on second base following the sac bunt. And Matson takes the ball in a big spot with R.J. Austin at the plate in a walk-off opportunity. From the righty box, out of the stretch, Matson's first pitch. Swung on and missed for strike one. He went to the breaking ball and shoved it in the dirt. Austin went off to a good start, grounded two through the hole on the left side. Since then, he's 0 for 2 with a pop out in foul territory and a looking strikeout. 0-1. Check swing, appeal to the base umpire, and he went. Strike two. YD dugout not happy, but they're going to have to deal with it here. No
First
balls,
and
two
time
strikes for out number
R.J.
one.
Austin. On deck
Enzo does his job with the
King.
sac bunt. Hit for out. Outfield still pretty deep for Orleans. 0-2. Spiked away, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That seriously.
Matson climbs back onto the rubber. Yet to give up a run this season through 5 innings pitched. 1-2. Lifted up in the air. On the infield into foul ground. Olmstead's over and he makes the catch in foul territory for the second out.
Austin's had a few of those pop-ups to the shallow foul territory today, just missing underneath in his last couple at-bats.
Will King up to the plate on the back of an 0 for 4 day, has a chance to erase all of that. 2 outs in the ninth. And Matson's first pitch. King rolls this one to third, waiting on it. Penny throws across the diamond, a high throw, but it's handled by Olmstead, and we will head to a 10th. 4-4 our score, extra innings on the way from Red Wilson Field. That when we come back, you're watching YD Red Sox baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top 10 here from Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth. Leighton Finley back on the mound for YD. Third extra inning game of the season for the Red Sox. They are 1-0-1 in those games. Fenwick Trimble makes his way out to second base as the international rule in effect. And the batter will be Eddie Micheletti Jr., who is 1 for 4 with a double. Will King calls time. And Max Vieira will give a sign over at short to his pitcher. Looked like Micheletti might bunt. We'll see if Finley tries to throw something up and in here to try and prevent it. First pitch delayed by a pickoff. And Finley will now get back ready for it. This is the final inning, of course. If we are tied after 10, this game goes down as a tie. YD with one of those this season for Orleans. They do not have a tie on their record. Finley's first pitch. Swing and a foul ball. Micheletti dropped that one into the dirt, and so after it looked like he was going to bunt, the Red Sox call time, plan around it, and then Micheletti changes his mind.
That's the first time in any of these extra inning games that we haven't seen a bunt offered on the first pitch.
No balls and a strike. Finley with a couple looks at second. Now the pitch. High above the hat. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's debate, of course, mostly about if you are in the top of the inning, whether or not to bunt. Some people say yes, some people say no. Orleans, for now at least, electing to go swinging. Finley's 1-1. Twisted foul, and up in the air, it gets out of play.
It's golden hour right now at Red Wilson Field. It's 7:40 p.m., and there's a bit of a haze that's fallen over as well. Really pretty conditions as daylight really wanes. We've reached the last few minutes.
Hoping to get through this inning and complete this game. Finley ready for the 1-2. The pitch popped up in foul territory, gets out of play. Looks like that ball might be playable for Xander Darby, who took a couple steps to it, but then promptly realized that ball was skying over his dugout. Fogg has moved over center field. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Eddie Micheletti. A lot of room if he can poke one to the opposite field on the ground. No one really covering that shortstop spot with Max Vieira behind the second base bag. The 1-2. Hit foul. Went to the opposite field there. A late swing. Hit the ball pretty hard on the ground up towards the YD bullpen, and he stays alive. One ball and 2 strikes. Finley working through his second inning of work. Gave up a double and a walk in the last inning, but got through it scoreless. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a foul tip into the glove, strike 3.
Really solid day for Will King behind the plate. Despite 1 run scoring on a wild pitch that deflected off his shin guard, other than that, it's really been the best defensive game we've seen from him so far.
Couple of caught stealings, and now another foul tip that he squeezes with the glove for an out. Andy Blake now the batter. He's 1 for 4. The sky beginning to darken. Finley still having to come out of the stretch from the first base side, righty on righty. That's a strike right over the plate.
This fog is really blowing in. You can physically see it. It looks like clouds are on the field. Conditions have changed drastically in the last minute and a half.
0-1 to Andy Blake. Long look at second, now home. Back to second, and the pitch. Swinging a foul tip. No balls, 2 strikes against Andy Blake. And the field conditions just mirroring the drama of extra inning baseball here in the 10th. Finley looking for strikeout number 3. Oh-2 to Blake. Cranked up in the air, left side. Xander Darby chasing after it, and it gets out of play. A lot of balls hit that way by members of this Orleans batting order. And it's no balls, 2 strikes to Blake. Wiggling the bat. Finley now set. Another 0-2 pitch, delayed by the pickoff. This at-bat has been very long stretched for one that hasn't seen many pitches. Another 0-2. Flared right field. Apodaca chasing after it and will let it go as it drops foul. Was slightly out of his range as he slowed up to that one. Fog continuing to get thicker and thicker. It's becoming difficult now to see out near the fence.
With the 10th inning started, though, this game will be seen to a conclusion.
Nothing in 2 to Blake. Look at the runner and the pitch. Swinging a chopper towards short. Waiting back on it. Now charging. Vieira needs a cannon to first, and it's not in time. It's just beaten out by Blake. Very close play over there at first, but now they're on the corners with 1 out for Orleans.
That is a difficult call to make at first. I thought Vieira's throw had him beat. It would have been by maybe half a step, something that, if there was video review like there is in the NCAA, could have been overturned. But right now it puts YD in a really difficult spot with runners on the corners.
And Scott Pickler now, a little bit frustrated, is out of the YD dugout and wants to talk to the umpiring crew. 3-man crew here in the Cape League. It was, of course, the first base umpire that made the call, and Scott obviously none too happy, pointing over at the base and gesturing with some frustration in his expression.
It's a really tough call to be on the wrong end of.
Pickler not happy. This is about as frustrated as we've seen him with an umpire all season. Conversation will conclude. And now Jack Penny comes up. He tied this game in the 8th with a solo homer. Runners on the corners with 1 out. A double play could get YD out of it. They're going to bring the corner infield in. And Scott Pickler, who walked out to argue with the umpire, walked all the way back into his dugout, is now back out to go talk to his entire infield. Bullpen is empty for YD. There is a player out there who looks like he's just taken his sweatshirt off. Maybe some throwing that would just start, but that would not be allowed to, or that would not be able to, I should say, come in for a little bit. Orleans third base coach saying, hey, let's get this going here. We're losing daylight, and now the home plate umpire is going to go out and try and break up this meeting of the minds.
It's crazy how fast the sun has set and this fog has rolled in. At the beginning of this inning, I said it was golden hour, and now it's solidly twilight and really difficult to see out there, especially with this fog physically moving across the field. Really ominous. First time I've seen conditions like this all season.
Pickler continuing to stay out there, and finally he has said enough. So we're hoping that this game is able to be played. But now Scott Pickler back to his dugout, and Leighton Finley's got some base runners to deal with. They're on the corners with just 1 out. He's got a strikeout already. Jack Penny has put a ball in play in every at-bat except one in which he walked. Righty on lefty. The first pitch. Inside, King stabs at it and prevents it from getting to the backstop, ball one. Penny's only hit of the day is that home run that came in his most recent at-bat. 1-0. Bounces low for ball two, and King again squeezes it. 2 balls and no strikes, and maybe some nerves taking over here in the late innings. Finley needs to find the zone. He's got one place to put Penny, but that would move the runner from first to second and load the bases. 2-0. Cranked foul right behind home plate.
I will admit I flinched at that.
Right towards
I will.
us. 2 balls and a strike to Jack Penny. Finley already. Small lead on first from Blake, and the pitch. Outside for ball 3. Finley trying to avoid the walk. That would be his second. Walked Joe Oyama in the 9th. He was able to get out of the inning, though, immediately following it as he struck out Fenwick Trimble. The 3-1. Sinks in there for strike 2. That is what we saw earlier from him towards the beginning of his outing. Haven't seen that sweeping breaking ball in a little while. It's a full count, and now Will King calls time to give a sign to his infield. Leighton Finley eyeing in on his battery mate Will King. King gives a look to the dugout. Now he has the sign. Here we go, 3-2. Runner goes, the pitch is pushed foul.
There's a little bit of wind blowing across the field from right to left and slightly out.
Andy Blake not required to go on first base with just 1 out. Orleans went with the hit and run, see if they go back to it here or if Blake holds off. Another payoff to Penny. Runner goes, this one wrapped towards first base. Throw comes home, it's a bouncer and it gets away, and King turning around can't apply the tag. Everybody's safe. A run comes in to score, and the hit and run pays off for Orleans as they strike in extras. It's 5-4.
It's not a bad decision from Christian, but with the speed of that pitch, there was also the chance at the double play, at least getting the runner out at second. It was really just the throw home off target. Christian, you could see him shaking his head at that. Now the fog has thickened considerably. I can't even discern the trees out in center field.
The batter is Jake Casey. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. First and second, 1 out. Casey swings over the top of strike 1. Extremely foggy conditions here in the late innings. And you wonder, how does it affect the outfield? We haven't seen a ball hit out there since this fog has rolled in. Righty on lefty. Casey leaning back in the box. Snap throw towards second.
I don't think I've quite ever understood the expression, the fog rolling in, until this moment, when it quite literally has come from the right side and it feels like has just rolled like a blanket across this entire field. I can't even read the scoreboard letters.
0-1. Just off the outer corner, 1 ball, 1 strike.
This is one of the few times as well that game time has surpassed 3 hours. Very rare with the pitch clock these days.
3 hours and 6 minutes since our start. The 1-1. Popped foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
As the fog continues to roll, it's actually clearing up slightly. It's very dark. but a little less hazy.
1-2 is the count to Casey with 1 out in the 10th. Inning that has felt extraordinarily long. The 1-2 from Finley. Foul ball nubbed to the left side. Orleans has taken a 5-4 lead over YD. For the Red Sox, in the bottom of the 10th inning, they will have Hines, Vieira, and Day. Pretty good part of the order due up. The runner will be Will King for the Red Sox if they choose to leave him in. For now, the 1-2. Pushed foul again. 1 ball and 2 strikes still to Jake Casey. Walked back in the 6th, was the only base runner in that inning for Orleans. Firebirds with 5 runs off 7 hits. 1 base knock in this inning. The 1-2 delayed again, another pickoff to second. One ball, 2 strikes. Outfield slightly shadowed towards the pull side. Out in straightaway center field, Jenkins Cowart playing just to the right. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Finley got him with the off speed. Casey was out in front. That's his 3rd strikeout of the day. And now we will see Owen Carpellotti coming to the plate. 2 gone in the 9th. Carpellotti has a single, reached on an error in the 3rd, and scored a run. Since then, a fly out to right and a pop out. Georgetown Hoy's got a shift on him. Takes the first pitch on the outer corner for strike 1. YD backing up Brady Day into shallow right field. Max Vieira, the shortstop, covering the second base bag. Righty on lefty to Carpellotti. And pitch. Check swing on the pitch up high. And it's even 1-1. They will appeal out to the base umpire, but Carpellotti did hold. 1 ball, 1 strike. Finley bouncing the foot. Now the 1-1. Check swing foul ball towards the YD dugout. It slow rolls dramatically over to the bleachers. And it's 1-2.
It's interesting that we haven't seen a ball hit to the outfield because I would love to see how it would be affected in these conditions. Something I think in the bottom of the inning, YD might be the beneficiary of if they can manage to get it that far.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a foul tip just behind home plate. And Will King will go walk the ball back out to his pitcher, Leighton Finley, following the home plate umpire, taking that one off the chest. Wonder how much longer this game can go, given the looming darkness that has already started to fall over the field. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Owen Carpellotti. Finley with a couple looks at second. Now he comes home. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Leighton Finley records 3 strikeouts, but the international runner is pushed across for Orleans. They lead by 1, headed to the bottom of the 10th. Last chance for YD when we come back. You're watching Red Sox baseball here on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
funny.
Bottom 10, and we're here at Red Wilson Field. It is foggy, it is getting darker, but we are committed to finishing this game, and the Red Sox need at least one run. They have pinch run for the automatic runner on second base. Casey Cook is in for Will King. The batter at the plate is Hunter Hines, 2 for 3 with a walk and 2 home runs. First pitch to Hines. Swing and a miss up high for strike one. Sean Matson retaking the mound for Orleans. Came in and slammed the door on the Red Sox in the ninth. The 0-1. Taken inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'm honestly a little surprised there's not even the thought of intentionally walking Hines here, considering the damage he's done.
1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike two. Hines certainly brings the power, but don't know if Kelly Nicholson would want to put the go-ahead run on base. As Hines now readies up. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. And Hines down on strikes for the second time. So YD not able to move that runner up as Hines gets fanned. And now Max Vieira, who is hitless on the day, has been so strong through the early part of the season. On a bit of a hitting skid, he's still reaching base at a relatively normal clip. First pitch taken above the zone for ball one. Brady Day waiting in the wings in the on-deck circle. 1-0 the count. YD looking to avoid their first loss in extra innings this year. 1-0 pitch is outside for ball two.
Day has been really clutch in late game situations as of late.
2-0 to Vieira. Ball's right down the heart of the plate for strike one. Both Vieira and Day are hitless in this game, despite recent successes. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. He went chasing outside, and the count is even 2-2. Day waiting on deck. 2-2 count to Max Vieira, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Sean Matson blew it by him up high, and Vieira can't connect. It's another strikeout, the second by Matson, and the Red Sox are down to their final out, the game resting on the bat of Brady Day. Tying run on second base for YD, that's Casey Cook. First pitch today. Slides into the outside half for strike one. Sean Matson is motoring through this YD order right now. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Day was late, and it's 0-2. The Red Sox are down to their final strike. Matson sets at the letters. The 0-2. Called strike three, and the ball game is over. Sean Matson strikes out the side in the 10th, and Orleans steals one at the end from YD in extra innings as the Firebirds win it. Final score is 5-4. Sean Matson picks up the victory for Orleans in extra innings to improve to 6-7 on the year. YD falters to 8-5. Their 3-game winning streak is over. Orleans has now won 4 of their last 5 games. YD back in action tomorrow, 7 p.m. start on the road against the Chatham Anglers. But Perri, this is a game where the Red Sox didn't really have a whole ton of offense. They had one guy providing it for them. That was Hunter Hines, and just kind of ran out of gas in that 10th inning.
Yeah, Luke, it was unfortunate for the Red Sox because if anyone but Hines had been leading off the inning, I would have expected to see the bunt. But with all Hines has done today, it would be impossible to ask him to do that. Swings through, strikes out, something. His numbers have been pretty high. It seems like it's either extra bases or a strikeout, but no discredit to him. He did everything he could. 2 absolute bombs on the day, and YD hitting just struggled a little bit up and down the lineup. They had a few errors, but the errors didn't necessarily cost them this game. Instead, it was just the lack of offensive production. YD pitching struggled a little bit at the end, more so than we've seen. But I think this really was just more of a credit to Orleans in the way that they played. I don't really think this one was on the Red Sox in the same way, like giving away the game. I think Orleans they were the more perseverant team today. They battled through their counts better. They found the gaps. Their pitching came in clutch at the end, and sometimes it's just not your day to win, and I think today was that day for the Red Sox.
Winning pitcher is Sean Matson. He went an inning and 2/3 clean, no runs, no hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts for the right-hander out of Harvard. The losing pitcher in this game is Leighton Finley, a game that took 3 hours and 15 minutes to conclude. Final line score, Orleans with 5 runs off 8 hits, 1 error, and 6 left. YD, 4 runs off 5 hits, 3 errors, and 9 left. Red Sox fall to 8-5-1 on the year, but a chance to bounce back tomorrow on the road as they make their way to Veterans Field for the first time this season. A 7 p.m. first pitch against the Chatham Anglers, and we hope you will tune in then. So until tomorrow, for our entire crew, my partner Perri, Kitei, our producer Anna Tedeschi, thanks so much for tuning in. YD loses a heartbreaker in extras. 5-4 is your final. We hope to see you at 7 o'clock. And until then, Luke West Poley saying so long.